and panic creeps into the echoes. Tate seemed always to be saying someone else is saying something in his poems. He was a ventriloquist and witness. Somewhere there is voiceover bootleg footage of Jim Tate saying, "I'm just a hungry little Gnostic in need of a sandwich." The Tate poem makes the dark and unknown as illuminating as the enlightened and logical. In a poem, just as many things exist in the dark as they do in the light. When Tate said to a team of junior gymnasts snowed in at a diner, "My Felisberto is handsomer than your Murgatroyd," there was, according to Gemma, one of the gymnasts, an outbreak of laughter so contagious Mr. Tate could not finish his poem. Gemma, who was so moved by Tate's unfinished reading, she began the Jim Tate Reading Club for gymnasts and fans. Fans, coaches, opponents and their coaches and fans, and anyone in attendance with interest may join Gemma's Jim Tate Reading Club for gymnasts and fans, now in year 3 and going strong. The Tate poem is full of comedic timing and obsessive timekeeping. The Charlie Chaplin-like poet displays to contemporary Middle American ennui and diluted, denuded delight. Like the deadpan voiceover of a Charlie Kaufman high school hooky movie. Tate appears disguised as Charlie Brown or Charlie Parker. Tate appears disguised as a candy store shopkeeper impervious to ill will, a blue antelope, a woodpecker tapping Morse code into a dead oak tree, a pink-eyed extraterrestrial infatuated with John Ford westerns. Tate's poems induce imaginative fortitude. Events can happen in a mind, a mine, or a minefield, ideally when the tempered outdoors and indoors are the same. When a reader contemplates leaving the book party, the reader who notices must say, "I feel as if I were the residue of a stranger's life, that I should pursue you." The Jim Tate poem normalizes the bizarre, the dream-songy, the mythic, the absurd, the quotidian, the diurnal, surreal and occasionally nightmarish feeling of life. This is a house of unwritten poems. This is where I am unborn, Tate tells readers in a room below a falling darkness, and then for years and years someone reads him saying it at a book party or alone at home. It's truly wonderful to read in a James Tate voice, alone or at a public, private, or secret reading. Adjust your tongue so that it can hold a small key underneath. Adjust the ear at the back of your neck and the eye at the tip of your nose. Speak like a lost pilot in a lost key. Everyone is expected to read. Terrance Hayes. Editor's note. We began with the usual apprehension over eliminating poems and pages. We being Kate Lindroos, poet, essayist, and historian, and Emily Pettit, poet, artist, and James Tate's stepdaughter, and me. We wanted to assemble a book that serves the elemental purpose of a love for keeping poetry nearby. We looked for a book matching as much as possible the big open-heartedness throughout James Tate's lifelong dedication to poetry. We understood the word essential while inviting assurances of decisiveness and comprehensive selection did not require us to focus on exclusion over inclusion. Once we realized this, the pleasure of thinking of what to include resembled the pleasure poetry provides when it helps us feel how open our minds can be, how pleasing thinking along with another's mind can be, and how poetry lends us opportunities to think through what otherwise might not have occurred to us to explore. A poem in Tate's first book says, "I would have lent you sugar," and this is what we hope to do as well in spirit. We invoke the generosity of Tate's poems.